The self thus becomes aware of itself, at least in its practical action, and discovers itself as a cause among other causes and as an object subject to the same laws as other objects, according to Jean Piaget. Good day once again. Today we're going to discuss about the theory of Jean Piaget. At least, even if not the whole content of history, at least I can give you a little bit who is really Jean Piaget in line on how we'll be able to understand ourselves. Let's go. The self as a cognitive construction. What is psychology then? How can psychology help you understand yourself and know who really you are? Psychology is the scientific study of how people behave, think, and feel. It includes how the brain works, how our memory is organized, and how people interact in groups, and how children learn about the world. In fact, everything that concerns the human being is a concern of psychology, from the basic workings of the human brain to consciousness, memory, reasoning, and language, to personality and mental health, and everything about the human experience. Psychology will scrutinize it so that you as human being will understand how it is to be you. How it is to be you. In the online dictionaries, define the term cognitive as of relating to being or involving conscious intellectual activity, such as thinking, reasoning, or remembering. Self-theorists argue that it is natural for humans to form theories about themselves, both as a single entity and as a group, to make meaning of one's existence and experience. Psychology Jean Piaget was a Swiss clinical psychologist known for his pioneering work in child development. He pioneered the theory of cognitive development, dealt with the nature of knowledge itself, and how humans gradually come to acquire, construct, and use it, according to Torres and Ash 2007. According to Piaget, cognitive development is a progressive reorganization of mental processes resulting from biological maturation and environmental experience. He believes that children construct an understanding, construct an understanding of the world around them, experience inconsistencies between what they already know and what they discover in their environment, and then adjust their ideas accordingly. That is the statement of MacLeod 2009. Moreover, Piaget claims, Piaget, Piaget claims that cognitive development is at the center of human organism. For example, language is dependent on knowledge and understanding, and the capacity to speak and express oneself through language can only be acquired through the development of intelligence, conscious thought, and problem-solving ability that begins infancy. That was the statement of Baldwin, 2005. Way back 1952, Piaget observed how children processed and made sense of the world around them and eventually developed a four-stage model of how the mind processes new information encountered. If you can still remember the terminologies that I've been using in the previous discussion, I hope that you're still fresh with you. Okay? There are three basic components of Piaget's cognitive theory. These are the terminologies that we are used that we've been talking in the previous discussion. Okay? Schemas or schemes, these are the building blocks of knowledge. Schemes are mental organizations that individuals use to understand their environments and designate actions. Usually, the building blocks will occur if the persons in authority within the family trying not to reveal the truth, trying not to tell the truth, trying not to tell you the right information in order for you to conquer and to achieve that particular information. The building block sometimes is our cowardness, not readiness. The readiness itself, it's not yet totally achieved. Sometimes naduduwag tayo. Sometimes natatakot tayo. Ito yung mga building blocks. Minsan, the memory itself, the self-esteem, very poor. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo nito ng takot na ayaw nating na mahirapan tayo magsabi, mahirapan tayo mag-express. It's because of these particular schemas that we encountered in our whole life. In your current status now, takot ka na magbigay kasi takot ka rin mahusgahan. That's one thing also that makes us blocking to share our own abilities. Huwag ka na matakot. If you're asked to share, then try to share. Lakasan ng loob. Huwag mo duduwag. Kaya ko to. Kaya mo rin yan. Kaya nating lahat. Okay? Isa tayo, sabay-sabay tayo. Abutin natin ang ating goal upang malampasan natin ang dagok na matatakot tayo mag-express ng ating ideas, na matatakot tayo mag-express ng ating opinions. Huwag naman. This is your right time. This is the time for you to go out from your nutshell and to share those precious knowledge of yours, those precious ideas of yours, in order for you to conquer the possibilities and the good ideas that you already have had in yourself. Okay? So let's continue. The second one is adaptation. It involves the child learning process to meet situational demands. So, ano yung mga situational demands ng mga estudyante or ng mga children? So to say, ginarear sila ng parents, pinapakain sila, pinahili-hili sila, minsan tinuturuan natin silang mag-sing ng alphabets, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, has something to their cognitive development. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still, we teach them how to count numbers correctly. What is your name? Where do you live? The way we communicate with them as parent, ang relationship going to the children. So, kung ano yung tinuturo natin sa mga bata, gina-adapt na yan. Kaya be careful tayo. Do not utter any words, harsh words na makakarinig yung mga kabataan nating minor de edad, especially yung developmental stages na pag yun ang nakikita nila sa surroundings nila, careful tayo doon. Okay? Huwag din natin silang hadlangan kung may gusto silang sasabihin. Pag may mali, i-correct sa tamang pamamaraan. Huwag buliwan. Kung ayaw mong magkakaroon sila ng building blocks or schemas sa kanilang buhay. Kausapin, huwag paluin sa publiko. Pag pinapalo natin, kailangan mapapaliwanag ng maayos ba't mo pinalo. Pero huwag naman yung abusong pagpalo. Tender and loving care pa rin. And now, stages of cognitive development, they reflect the increasing sophistication of the child's thought processes. Ito, dahan-dahan na natin. Tinuturo ang tama, papatuloy, tinuturo ang mali, at iwasan. Be careful of teaching our kids of telling the truth, then continue because that is good. And telling the lies, stop because that's not good. Okay, let's continue. According to Piaget, the knowledge children acquire is organized into schemas or scheme. or groupings of similar actions or thoughts. Over time, these schemes may change, but they provide an important base level of information about particular events, objects, and informations. Kaya nga, very sensitive masyado ang mga bata mag-isip. Huwag hadlangan. Mag-observe lang tayo mga magulang, mag-observe lang tayo mga ate, kuya, or lolo, lola, tito, tita, at turuan natin. Kasi mga bata, very full of imagination. Huwag nyo silang guluhin pag naglalaro. Hayaan nyo lang yan sila para ma-develop pa rin yung childhood nila. Kasi minsan tayo hindi natin naranasan mag-enjoy sa ating childhood. Kaya huwag nating gayahin at ipamahala sa kanila. Bigyan natin sila ngayon ng pagkakataon para mas lalo pa silang mag-grow, especially mag-i-enjoy sa kanilang childhood days. Furthermore, Piaget describes two processes used by the individual in his or her attempt to adopt: assimilation and accommodation. These are the two processes, the assimilation and the accommodation. The individual uses both these processes to adjust to his or her environment in an increasingly complex manner. Assimilation is the application of previous concepts of new concepts. For example, a child who has just learned the word fish, about fish, upon seeing one. Meanwhile, accommodation happens when people encounter completely new information or when existing ideas are challenged. For example, a child knows dogs and cats. At school, he or she learns the word animals. The child will then adjust her understanding that dogs and cats are both animals. People often have to form a new schema or alter existing mental categories to accommodate new information. Now, going back to assimilation, pag sinabi niyang a child who was just learned the word fish, shout fished. Mama, mama, papa, papa. Sinisigaw na yan, papa, papa, mama, mama. I love you, I love you. I love you. Baby loves mama. Ginagaya na niya. Na ngayon, pag nakita niya ngayong kalabaw at saka yung kambing are animals, naturalmente, na-registered na yun, na-accommodate niya yun na itong mga hayop na to, itong karabaw na to at kambing na to ay mga group of animals. Isa sa grupo ng mga animals. Huwag nating turuan ng mali. Kasi pag mali ang tinuro natin, gagayahin nila hanggang sa pagtanda nila. The same thing, makakita sila ng bola, ball. The same thing sa kanilang private part. Huwag gawing flower ang proper terminologies or terminology para sa private part ng babae. You know what I mean? I'm not going to mention it's very vulgar. And the same thing, do not make any alternative calling of the private part of the boy, like bird. It's not bird. Tell them the correct terminology and the name of their private part for the boys and for the girls, because children nowadays are easy to imitate of what you are saying. I hope that you've learned a little bit of background on how Piaget was able to help us on how to assimilate and accommodate things surrounds us, especially those children, because this is intended for them, and you will be the focal person to educate our children. Now let's try to end up this particular discussion in the 4 stages of cognitive development that Piaget theorized that children progress through 4 stages and that they all do so is in the same order. So these are the brief summary of Piaget's 4 stages of cognitive development of ourselves. Let's try with the one. The J stage is cognitive development stage 1, sensory motor. The ages 0 to 2. Ito yung mga particular ages ng sensory motor, 0 to 2. Characteristics of stage. The child learns by doing, looking, touching, sucking. Okay? The child also has primitive understanding of cause and effects relationships. Then object permanence appears around 9 months. Pag ikaw na yung kinagisnan ng bata, pag tutungtong na yun siya ng 9 na buwan, hindi na yun siya maglapit ng iba. Maglapit man yan siya, kailangan ma-develop muna yung trust versus mistrust. Kung ano yung symbol na nakikita niyang figure sa mukha niya by his seeing, by his touching, by anything na nakikita niya araw-araw, hanggang magtuntong siya ng naka-register na yun sa kanya. Kaya, kung may mga anak kayo doon, sinasabi na, ay, kumikilala na siya. Nagde-develop lang po yung bata ng trust sa taong kinagisnan niya at kinamulatan na ng kanyang pangunawa at paningin. Kaya pag nagsasak yung bata, natural lang yun. Kasi that is their way of satisfying themselves. Okay? Next, pre-operational age between 2 to 7 years old. The child uses language and symbols, including letters and numbers. Egocentrism is also evident. Conservation marks the end of the pre-operational stage and the beginning of concrete operation. So in this part naman, so nakakaroon na sila ng mga symbol, makilala lang A. A for apple. B for ball. C for cat. D for dog. E for elephant. Kailangan huwag kang magloko-loko sa bata dito. Huwag mong turuan ng mali. Sensitibo yung cognitive development na ano yung tinuturo mo, ikaw din ang magsisisi nun. Tandaan mo. Okay? Huwag magbiro-biro sa mga bata kasi madali silang mag-adapt. Ipakita ang kabutihan. Iwasan ang hindi nakakabuti sa kanilang paningin at pandinig. Okay? Mahilig silang mag-imitate, gagayahin ka nila. Be careful of what you're doing. Kung nakikita ng mga anak mo yan, magsisisi ka din yan. Okay? The third stage is the concrete operations, age between 7 to 11. The child demonstrates conservation, reversibility, serial ordering, and mature understanding of cause and effect relationship. Thinking this stage is still concrete. So, ito, a little bit, ano na siya, kasi sa pre-operational, nandun na yung stage na pwede na siya magpunta sa school. Yung 5 to 6 to 7, minsan ang bata yung prep rather, then magpunta na siya sa andang grade 1, grade 2. Then, tuloy-tuloy na yan siya dito. Papakita, Papa, ito yung sinabi ng teacher namin. Mama, ito yung sinabi ng teacher mo. Mama, maggawa daw kami. Then, ikaw naman na, Papa at anak. Mama, sagutin mo ng maayos. Ikaw, ate, kuya, o ano yan? Okay, upo ka muna. Pero bago muna, magkain muna, magbihis muna kasi galing pa ikaw sa school. Okay? Give freedom also to your kids to express themselves the moment they got home. Huwag mo nang sigawan. Kasi excited yan sila masyado ipaalam sa iyo kung ano yung mga bagay-bagay ang kanilang natutunan sa school. Kagaya sa inyo. Nag-share din kayo na kay mama at papa if ever that you'd be able to achieve a special, especially pag na-recognize ka sa school. Diba? Sarap-sarap ng pakiramdam. Ganun din ang ating mga kabataan. Ganun ka din yun. You're still on that particular stage. Kasi lahat ng natutunan ng mga bata sa school, para sa kanila, memorable yan. Very meaningful yan sa kanila. Kaya sabayan mo din. Wow! Ang galing naman. Di ba? Minsan, namimiss natin yun kasi hindi na nagawa ni mama at papa. Kasi taas ng expectation ni mama at papa sa atin. Sana when you become a parent, masarap maging bata. Masaklap. Kapag isip bata ka, tumatanda na yung edad mo ngayon. Masarap pakilaro sa mga bata kasi maging mukhang bata ka. Pero huwag namang kilos bata. Kahit matanda ka na, iba na yun. The last one, the last stage according to John Fajay, formal operations. So ito na yung 12 years old and above. So I can still remember when I was 12 years old, I was grade 6 that time. Okay? The individuals demonstrate abstract thinking at this stage is still concrete. So, may isip na sila, kailangan a little bit curious na sila sa mga bagay-bagay. Nandito napapasok na itong mga puppy loves. Kaya, huwag tuksuhin ng mga anak. Huwag pagalitan sa harap ng kanilang, for example, may mga puppy love ng mga anak nyo, huwag nyong bastusin. Kausapin ng maayos. Sa lahat ng pagdisiplina sa mga anak natin, hindi kailangan ang bulyaw. Mahinahon na boses, tamang pananalita, at tunado ng pananalita. Lahat tayo ay may kanya-kanyang pamaraan sa pagdisiplina. Lahat tayo ay bahagi kung paano natin ma-construct ang cognitive development ng kabataan ngayon. Ikaw, bilang isang kolehiyo, ikaw, bilang isang mag-aaral, ikaw, bilang isang grade 12 o grade 11, bilang isang guro, paano ka nakakatulong ngayon sa mga nagnanais na matuto at ma-develop pa lalo ang kanilang cognitive development? Kahit sabihin natin na andyan ka na ngayon sa kasalukuyan mong taon, not ibig sabihin na hindi ka na pwedeng mag-grow. Pwede pa rin. Pag matured na tayo ngayon, marunong ka nang umiwas, at marunong ka na magdepensa, at marunong ka magbigay ng reasoning, kung ano yung tama, pagpatuloy, kung ano yung mali, iwasan at huwag nang ipagpatuloy pa. Naway sa ating napag-usapan ngayon, sa ating discussion ngayon, naway may natutunan ka kahit papaano. Naway nakadulot din ng tamang pangaral si Jan Fajay para mas lalong mag-grow yung ating sarili. Sa sunod na diskusyon, ating tatalakayin ang pananaw naman ni Harters tungkol sa self-development concept. Hanggang sa muli, ingat po tayo. God bless everyone. Bye-bye for now. See you to our next discussion.